Hey folks, welcome to the show. Episode 73, Collingwood versus Adelaide review. So it's the first game for the Crowies, folks. It is absolute first game for them up against the Pies at the G. So let's get into the scoreline, folks. Who won the game? Let's check it out. So 11 goals, 13 behinds, and 79 points for the Collingwood Magpies. The Adelaide Crows, they kicked 13 goals and 15 behinds to finish off with 93 points. 14-point winners to the Crows. And look, let's talk about the goal kickers. Who are the goal kickers for the sides? Collingwood had Steele 2, Schultz 2, Elliott 2, and Dacos 2, Memory, McQuarrie, Cripps. Single goals apiece, folks. Big feel for the Adelaide Crows. Kick 3 and look instrumental. Fogarty 2, Cumming 2, Saligo, Rochelle, Pedler, Neil Bullen, Keys, Cook. Single goals apiece. For the best players, Collingwood, Houston and Dacos, Cameron, Quanos still. For Adelaide, Malera, Worrell, Thilthorpe, Cook, New Bullen, Cumming. No injuries to either side. Nil apiece, which is good. Crowd of 62,482 at the MCG. Come on, folks. Get the 80,000 crowd at this game. They're two sides that played finals last year. They need to have a big crowd. That's just... I know there's a concert and stuff going on over there at the moment. But it's footy and it's back, folks. So this is why we need to hype it up more. It was the first time the Crows have won a game at the MCG over the Collingwood Magpies since 2014. So great round one win for the Crows. They kicked 6 clinical goals in less than 20 minutes after half time, which almost killed the contest. But early in the contest, it was just the key tools like Thilthorpe just getting his hands on it early. Malera running that ball out of the half back. He just looked great. The Crows' pressure was much more. I thought Collingwood was going to give them a good run with the pressure after I tipped against the Saints, and I thought that they'd burn me again. But Adelaide's form over the preseason was good. I know they lost to Fremantle, but they didn't have Thilthorpe. I'm telling you, folks, Thilthorpe means that's such a big difference. As we look at Isaac Quain, 180 centimetres, Braden Maynard, 189 centimetres, and they're both playing on players like Darcy Fogarty, 192, and Taylor Walker, 192. It's exactly sort of a mould of each other. One's a lot younger, and Taylor Walker's getting towards the end of his career. They were just dominant on him. Okay, folks, like they just had that. They're kicking to the space. Dawson playing that role across the middle or half forward as that linking kick. I thought his hands were good. Barry in the middle as well. Rochelle running through there. Thilthorpe kicked the 3 goals after he booted 60 goals last year in a breakout year to win his first ever Blazer. 2 of his 3 goals in the final third quarter, so the premiership quarter. And down back, so for the Crows, Josh Worrell had the most influential impact for the Crows. And on the ground, in the first half, patrol in the back half, he's had 9 intercepts and also he had 27 disposals. And then also working alongside him, Worrell playing that centre back role, but Wayne Malera playing off that half back. Ingle Farm lad, shout out to Ingle Farm. He amassed 34 disposals, 654 metres gained, folks. So that was across the half back, and I think it's his best game for the Crows in his career. Had a lot of injuries, and now he's fulfilling the fruits of being that player. So, but for Collingwood's issues, and we talked about this, and this is going to be a very big issue for them throughout the year. And they're going to rely so much on their half forwards like Elliott, DeGoey, and so forth. And then you got their tools, so Buller and McStay. I'm telling you, if you get on top of those 2 players, you stop them. It puts these pressures on the half forwards like McQuarrie as well. They just can't. You could see Collingwood kicking into the forward line, like they've got someone there that's like 6'5" plus. They just don't. It was even six. You could even Mychek. They still thought they got Mychek playing, and he's no longer there. They didn't replace a half at all. Jack Bullard, he's not good enough. Sorry to say, but he didn't even get to the contest to bring the ball down. McStay, they thought he was going to be better. He's just not. That's just how it is. But also you had arguably two best players for Collingwood with Dan Houston. He's back to that All-Australian Blazer form. 4 by Adelaide. They're finally using him better. I don't know why they didn't use him better like this last year. 32 touches, 693 metres gained. Along with Nick Dacosta finishing up with 33 disposals, 760 metres gained and 2 goals. So look at, like I said, if the Crows can keep him under 35 disposals, and I would have liked maybe 500 metres gained, but I'll take the 700 and the 33 disposals. I did say they cap him at 35. It's a good chance that that's just enough for them to get the win. All right, so there's no doubt about that. Their midfield did quite good. But yeah, the Collingwood just couldn't connect inside 50 in the first half as well. They slotted 4 goals in the second quarter to get them going, although they came from general play, not many set shots. So that's what I had down as well. So that was through to the halfway point. But yeah, essentially Collingwood was on the canvas as they were. They responded at the start of the fourth quarter, and also just to get before that, Adelaide responded after halftime, so going through to the third. First of the 6 scores in 8 minutes included 3 goals. Nick Dacos started the second half on the wing and looked in from the outside. And looked in from the outside early while the Crows motored away. So I don't know why they switched him around. You should just stick him in the middle, folks. As we sort of talking about, Walker made Collingwood pay for a stand infringement, finding Fogarty in the pocket from a 50-metre penalty, which halted the Magpies' momentum. But they also responded, this going into the fourth, as Lockie Schultz and then via Jamie Elliott, they had a pulse. But look, they just rely so much on those players. Like, it's such a problem. Those small half forwards. And Membry's just not good enough. He did slot a goal halfway through the last quarter. And the margin was just 2 goals. But as we mentioned, some penalties and just didn't quite sort of worked towards their favour. And the Crows were just 2 good keys coming in, slotting a goal. Yeah, look. We know they've got rid of Cox. We know they're trying to look for Ben King in this season, off season coming up. But I feel like for Collingwood's list, they're getting older. They're going to miss those players. Saligo coming back after having a heart surgery. He was good. Amazing ability to come back and play good football in a good contest like that. So shout out to him. Noel likes to see someone having heart surgery. That's props to Saligo. And just making the most of it. Pendlebury is being suspended for a game, as we just heard that for a thing that's come through. Obviously, he wants to catch up to Boomer Harvey's 432 appearances, so he's maybe delayed a game off that. So, let's just get into some stats quickly. It was Mac Andrews' first gig in the ruck for the Crows, and he finished off with 27 hitouts. So Darcy Cameron 16, Toby Murray as well for his first game playing with his brother. He had 7. Daniel McStay 3. So absolute just McStay's just he's no good, folks. He's just like he's going to have one of those games where he's good or bad, but I feel he's just not good enough, folks. Josh Dacos still had 28. Worrell 27. New Bullen had 26. He was great across the half forward, locking it in. Rory Laird off the half back 25. Rochelle 24. Chris Lipinski, all rounding out, and Quaynor. Dawson only had 21. See, the Crows are starting to win without him having to have 30 plus. So he was good. So we'll just go to meters gained. Or actually get the clearances going. Clearances to me are a great stat. So Darcy Cameron had 9. So even though he lost the hitouts, he still had 9 clearances. So just a little win there, but still the hitouts is just not good enough for him against a ruckman who's still, this is his first game actually playing for the Crows. Peatling 5. McAndrew still had 5 for the ruck for the Crows. Dacos, Nick Dacos 4, so still not good enough. Quelled a bit by the players like Barry, who end up having 4, equaling him. Sidebottom 3, Shelley 3, Pendlebury 3, Saligo 2, Neil Bullen 2, Long 2. Long needs to stand up. Needs to earn that spot. Dawson 2, Cripps 2, and even Phil Fort coming in. All single sort of ones there. Just meters gained as well. It's a good stat. Dacos and Houston both with 700 apiece. Wayne Malera 6. Quaynor 6. So still, like, the top 5 players are pretty much 3 of them are Collingwood players, and they're all half-back players, so that the Crows were getting enough ball into their forward line and making these players run out of there. And when they run out of there, they had no target to kick to. So well done to the defensive lineup of the Crows without Keane there as well. But see, the Crows didn't have to worry so much. I should have went with my instinct and backed the Crows. I just got burnt by Collingwood last week. I thought it was going to be a close game. I thought Crows went in with Peatling and a few players that were still a little bit out of form. Braden Cook played good coming into the lineup. Perryman should have tagged someone. He didn't. He did a great role last week. I don't get why he didn't sort of tag someone. Hugh Bond down in the back pocket played great. He played on those half forwards, whichever player it was, whether it was Schultz, Elliott, all their sort of small forwards. Ed Allen didn't have the impact. Look, Fogarty was okay. He kicked 2 goals, 1 behind. He had how many marks? He had 3 marks. So still limited impact. Just go to tackles. See, I thought the Crows were really good with their tackles. Let's see. 8 to Ned Long. Barry, the tackle machine, 7. Saligo 7. Dawson 6. So yeah, Crows were really good and hot on about it. McAndrew had 4. Lipinski 5 for the Pies. Macquarie 4. So yeah, the half forwards are going to tackle a bit like that. But like Maynard needed to put more pressure. Like they had Keys. Maynard was going to be playing on one of the tools, so he was out of position. That's enough for the stats. I'm pretty happy I covered a bit there. And overall for the game, Crows, they looked good. They generally, I thought they did show a lot of good. You're gonna have to throw tall defenders on 3 of those players. We've talked about that quite predominantly. We've talked about how Collingwood's tools are just not good enough down the forward line. They need Darcy more, clearly. That's a big indicator. So can the Pies turn around? Yeah, they can still get Darcy Moore back and have a key pillar in that defence, which helps Frampton take the second tool. And the other players will just concentrate on the smalls or the mid-sized tools. For the Crows, so their defence looked good, but it also Collingwood's forward line is not a very tall one. So the Crows didn't have to sort of stretch them for height, and they looked great. They moved the ball good. Malera, if he stays fit, and he could get all Australian form off the half back. So someone like Houston as well for Collingwood, he's definitely in that role. Dacos as well, both of the brothers, still just carrying that team in a lot of ways. But it was the Crows' first win at the MCG. They did amazing. My mum's a big Crows fan. Both my mum and dad are Crows fans, so they'll be happy. So shout out to all the Crows fans. They would be all happy. Pies fans, they're 1-1 Were they lucky to get away with the game last week? They probably were in hindsight. So we'll see how they go. It's going to be an important season. Crows need the Crows have got a harder draw this year, and they started off with a good win against a good quality side away. Last year when Port went there, it started off with a hard draw. We got flogged, and the Crows did the opposite. They come there, they won, kicked off the hard. Like they got a hard draw. They're gonna have to just keep winning this way. They keep winning these hard games. It's similar to how Port were like a few years ago. You just win those hard games where people think it's 50-50 or it might not be their way. That's how you climb up that ladder. So, and just like the Crows did last year, but I know they had the easier draw. So it will cement them and harden them to be a better side if they can beat the harder games this year. And the more they win, the higher they go up. Collingwood, on the other aspect, they've got a reasonably hard draw as well. And these are the sort of games at home they need to win. It's sort of a no-brainer. From an umpiring aspect, I feel like normally Collingwood always get the rub of the green with the umpires. That's a very easy sort of thing to say, obviously. But I tell you what, the Crows, it was a bit of a fairer game. The Crows got more of the rub of the green. There was one where the 50-metre stand rule, once again, I can't remember the player. I didn't have it written down. Yeah, it was just, I think I mentioned about it. I think Foggy ended up resulting from a goal from, it was someone with text, I just can't remember just off the top of my head. It doesn't quite matter because it's just it's a stupid rule. Sorry. That is the truth. It is the most, I've seen it probably, it is one every game. So it looks bad. It's horrible. It's just like, why can't they just bring it back? I'm actually over the umpires yelling, stand, stand, stand. When all they needed to say, the mark's here. That's all it used to be. Like, don't run over the mark. How it was so much better. Like players could move side on from the mark. They just had to stay on the mark. They try to do this to free up the play. I'm just over rule changes to free up the play. Just let it play. Just stop with. And then they go. And then in 3 years' time, they'll make a change to make it slow because players are going to get injured or soft tissue injuries because it's so fast. Then they go the other way. It's frustrating. It is so frustrating from a fan's aspect. It doesn't matter what team you support. I'm over the commentators never criticize the rule because they get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to just sit there and accept whatever is played through the game. Here, this is a podcast about saying what you think and saying the truth of the matter. And it's about being positive. I like positive change. I'm a very positive person, but when it has a negative effect on the game, and it's just too many rules, we're here to say that, and it's perfectly healthy to say that. And I think I love football. I love the AFL. It's our game. It's our culture. I just like it to be like how I think less rules are better. From my opinion, it was so basic. Stand on the mark, but you didn't have to say stand. The umpire would point where the mark was. Give them a second to move back off the mark. Like if they're moving 1 or 2 meters forward, can the umpire just say, "Can you come back to the mark?" Is such common sense. Instead, they give it a 50-meter penalty. That to me is ridiculous. That's the podcast, folks. That's more for another podcast where we're going to talk about the rules. It's not criticism of the umpires. They're just enforcing the rule that was given to them by the higher-ups in the AFL. Okay? And it's the higher-ups in the AFL, I just feel like need to stop tinkling with the game and just leave it alone. That's a podcast for another day because we're here to talk about the Crows and the Pies. The Crows got on top. Good start to the year for them. The Pies 1-on-1. They're going to have to find some forward line talent for height. And that's the game, folks. Enjoy the weekend. Thank you.